Hello everyone and welcome back. This is Tech Medic, and in today's video we're going to be talking about installing mods and getting them to work on your PC version of RDR2. So first off, we're going to have to go ahead and close down our game and exit totally in order to go ahead and start working on installing these mods. So we want to go ahead and get some resources that we're going to have to utilize in order to go ahead and start this process. So one of the first resources you need is an ASI loader. This is community Script Hook RDR2.net. You're going to go ahead and download it from Nexus Mods. So go to Nexus Mods under the Red Dead Redemption and create an account. You can go ahead and once you create this account, you're going to recognize that this virus scan here, this is a very safe site to download your mods from. There's going to be a description of the mod, as well as, some permissions, credits, channel log, donations that you can make to the modders themselves. If you show them some support, that'd be really awesome. Once you do that, you can go ahead and download the file for the RDR2 script hook and do a manual download. It's going to tell you to download in the slow version. That's fine. Doesn't really take that long to go ahead and do so. The next piece of hardware that you're going to need for some of the mods that are going to require more assets than just scripts in order to be installed is Lenny's mod loader, and you can find that at rdr2mods.com. I don't believe you need an account for this, but this site is safe to use. You can also download more RDR2 mods from this site, but I prefer Nexus Mods over them for the virus scan in general. You're going to also need a .rar file extractor. I use this in my IT career, and I am able to go ahead and utilize this free resource that you can go ahead and download here at freerarextractfrog.en.softonic.com. You can go ahead and Google search this and just put in free RAR Extract Frog, and you'll go ahead and find the software. Install it. It's going to help you go ahead and get the mods that you're downloading extracted. Another thing to note, if you have WinZip installed and you have surpassed your trial on that, you want to go ahead and uninstall it by going to Control Panel and going into Uninstall a Program. You're going to find it down in the W's. What you're going to want to do is right-click and uninstall that, and that'll go ahead and remove the file from Windows 10 and Windows 11. The reason being is that Windows 10 and Windows 11 automatically have within the base OS a zip extractor built in. So once we get that done, we're going to go into our downloads folder where we just downloaded LML and Script Hook. We're going to go ahead and right click, extract on both, okay? And they should end up inside of your downloads folder. What we want to go ahead and do is install Script Hook first. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to locate our Red Dead Redemption 2 folder. This is going to look like this in the address bar, but yours is probably going to be c:/steam/steamapps/commons/rdr2, and you're going to find all of your game files here, okay? So once we got this open, we're going to go to Script Hook, open up the next file, open up the next file, and we're going to copy scripts, Script Hook RDR.net ASI, the configuration settings file .net here, and the DLL, okay? And we're going to right click copy, and we're going to right click paste inside of our Red Dead Redemption 2 game folder. And what is this going to do is this is an ASI folder. It's basically going to tell Red Dead Redemption that a mod is changing some aspects or adding some aspects to the game. And it's going to load the scripts that you're going to download from Nexus Mods. And Nexus Mods will show you what its dependencies are. So if we go and click on the main page for all the mods that you can see, and I do popular of all time, it's going to give you a description of what this is. Scripts are super easy to install, and then you're going to have stuff like player, tools, gameplay effects, and changes. You can change practically everything in the game, even add specific tattoos, haircuts, different characters, weapons, weapon sounds, all kinds of ambient weather, anything you want you can find here, and there are thousands of mods. There's some stuff that I went ahead and downloaded in order to go ahead and enrich my experience inside of the game, and I'll kind of get to the list later in the video. But once you have a script downloaded from the main Nexus Mods page, we'll go back into downloads, and let's say we downloaded the no sliding mod, basically, which makes your character not slide on ankle high heels into their death off a mountain. So once we downloaded this and extracted, just like we extracted the other files, we can go ahead and get the no sliding ASI, copy, and just simply paste this into this folder. And Script Hook, what it's going to automatically do, and it's pretty much just drag, drop, and it's going to pick up those ASI files and automatically start them, so that when you load into your game and you go and run up a mountain, you're not going to slide down anymore. It's that simple to install these ASI scripts. So that being said, let's look at Lenny's mod loader and how to install a mod that requires it. So inside of Lenny's mod loader, once we get it started, actually need to back up a couple steps here. So let's go back to downloads. Once we downloaded LML, extracted it, we're going to open this. You do not need anything else in here. You just need the mod manager, and you can drag this mod manager to your desktop for easier access. Once you have that, you can go ahead and open the file itself on the desktop, and you're going to look at modmanager.ui, okay? So what you also need to do inside of your folder for your RDR2 inside of your Steam apps is you want to create the LML folder, okay? So once we create this, we're going to say, okay, this is where we want everything. We're going to copy this address. And once you get LML started and open, these three buttons are going to be grayed out, as well as the top button. And it's going to ask you right off the bat, like, okay, we need a valid game folder in order to go ahead and install mods. So what you're going to do is you're going to use the path from this here, and we'll go up one, and we're going to say, okay, you can click right here, and then you can highlight, come on. You can highlight all of this, Control C on your keyboard, go back over to Lenny's mod, and Control V, okay, and it's going to paste this address in there, and it's going to tell Lenny's mod, this is where my game folders are located, this is where everything is going to be installed. And once that's done, Lenny's mod should look something like this. And then to install a mod that requires this, all we're simply going to do is we're going to go ahead and click on Downloads, and we're going to click on the plus sign, and we're going to go ahead and go into our Downloads folder where we have a specific mod that told us, that this is pretty much anything that has anything other than scripts is going to be an LML folder that you're going to go ahead and install. So that would be something like Online Content Unlocker. You can go ahead and click that, open that, and then click on this folder, select folder, and what it's going to do is it's going to show you right here. I don't want to do this again, or maybe I should. It wouldn't hurt it. So we're going to go to Online Content Unlocker, alright, and then we're going to click OK, and then replace files with same destination, and it's going to say installed. So we can go ahead and check out our mods tab, and we can go ahead and enable or disable whatever mods are being installed. And the reason why Lenny's mod loader is utilized is because it replaces assets inside of the game files itself, and or changes the function of certain game elements. So it's a much more in-depth. Think of it as like taking Red Dead Redemption as a book, and you're going to remove some pages from it and replace it with other pages in order to go ahead and kind of create the mod that is being described on the actual Nexus Mods webpage. So that's something like perfect pelts. So instead of the game automatically loading the way that animals are taken down and a star is removed from the quality of the pelt, perfect pelts damage is basically going to tell the game that, okay, a player can go up to a rabbit, shoot it with a shotgun, and it will still be a 3-star. They can go ahead and shoot something, they can unload an entire dual-wield revolvers on an elk and it'll still be a 3-star. So that's something that you can go ahead and utilize. But once that's installed, and Lenny's mod is saying that the mod has been installed right here, and you can see it here. You can check these off at any time. What it does is basically it restores that version of RDR2 back to its original state, and it will remove those specific files that were altering the game itself. So once we got all that done, then we're pretty much good to go at this point, and everything should show up in your into your LML folder inside your downloader, and all these mods will be here. There's a couple of things that I have, and I just want to share with you at this point. You're pretty much good to go and download mods at your own volition, but remember, get them from Nexus Mods, and if you get them from anywhere else and your computer crashes or you mess something up, then that's, my disclaimer to you. I showed you where to get stuff. And now on to some of the mods that I use. So I use Ambient Gangs file. What it does is it adds gangs to the world itself and basically makes it so that they can run up on you at any time and start shooting you either in town or on the road. Really makes it kind of feel a lot more alive, especially when you're traveling in different areas, and there will be different gangs for different areas. So the more north you go, you're going to face the army. The more that you're in Valentine, you're going to run into O'Driscoll. The more that you're in Rhodes, you're going to run into the Lemoyne gang, things like that. Metal Detector, Online Content Unlocker, and the Red Dead Offline are all 4 resources that bring the online weapon skins and improved bow and other things like that into the game itself, which is the offline version that we're all playing, and makes it accessible, especially with the metal detector, which is something really cool, where you can use the metal detector to find like gold bars, gold nuggets, pendants, rings, or just trash like one bullet in the ground. A lot of mods that I use are, let's see here, let's go back to RDR2. We have Stagecoaches. So Stagecoaches is one of those, and Ambient Money Wagons will go ahead and add Stagecoaches with like grocery items or pelts or things of that nature. Adds kind of that kind of flavor to the world itself, that you can find multiple and varying stagecoaches with varying loot. Money ambient stagecoaches, or ambient money wagons, basically adds 2 wagons inside of the entire map that could have anywhere from whatever you specify. I specified between $200 and like $700 if I should run into one of these stagecoaches. And a lot of them will have the weapon lockers on the back with the stagecoaches in general, and that'll allow you to steal upwards from like $20 to like $100. Really cool item to have. We have all weapons unlocked, so that if you're starting the chapter 2 that I provided you in my Patreon, you can go ahead and get all weapons unlocked, so you can buy things like the Carcano rifle and the Navy revolver, things like that from the stores. Give you access without having to build that story progression to build up to the weapons that you actually want to use in the game. And then we have Bandana ASI. So Bandana ASI, what it does is it allows you to not gain or lose honor when committing a crime. And if you have it on when you do a good deed, then you're not going to get the brownie points from it. I have Bandit Hideouts.asi, and Bandit Hideouts, basically what it does is it adds more points for enemy gangs. So like, we have all these different points here. There is a version that you can change in the exchange files to add zombies, which was featured in like the Halloween event for Red Dead Redemption 2 zombie, Danger Nightfall or something like that, and add zombies in the New Austin area. But it'll add a bunch of different points and the corresponding gangs, as you can see here from this map overlay of where these gang hideouts are. So this one adds not only the gang occupying a point where there's actually resources like gold bars or gold nuggets, or there's, you know, specific relootable items that you can find out in the world. There's gangs there now, so that if you are going to go over here to south of the hide trader, you know, the naturalist trader, and you're looking for those 3 gold nuggets, then there's going to be a gang there that's going to be hanging out. So there's all these different additions to the world that kind of makes it a little bit more fun and able to use all that ammunition that you guys been hoarding, like myself, for the longest time. So this is a really cool mod to have. Another mod that I have is Bounties Expansion. So Bounties Expansion basically reopens the bounties from each town in the game, and they're replayable. There is a set amount of time between each bounty, so you can't do them over and over and over. It'll take like 1 to 2 hours to reset, but it allows you to do that. There also is weapons locker at your regular camp. So this will make sure that if you're way up here in the boonies on this map, that you can go ahead and exchange weapons at your leisure. Another one that I have is contracts.asi, which adds the ability for when you're in town for somebody to walk up to you and offer you a contract to assassinate another character within the vicinity of that town. That's something to keep an eye on. I also have gold panning, which is inside of the game itself. And gold panning, what it does, and as you can see here, it adds the ability just to have like an immersion effect to go ahead and pan gold at the many beautiful lakes and rivers that are inside of the game itself. And there's quite a few of them. So you can spend your time making money this way. Another, and let the screen come back up, mod that I have is Hunting Grounds, and Hunting Grounds is really cool because Hunting Grounds, what it will do is it will differentiate the size of the animal depending on its star rating. So this makes 3-star grizzly bears, wolves, and cougars extremely large and terrifying to go ahead and take down. It also affects the area of where populations of animals are, so that if you overhunt an area, it's going to take a long time in order for that population to regrow. Something that's of an immersion effect there as well. I do also have Lockdown Manager installed, which basically makes it so that Arthur Morgan can go down into this area, which is red in the normal game, and explore New Austin. With that being said, I have, of course, the metal detector, which I explained. No bounties with masks, so this allows you to go ham on law enforcement and not get any ridiculous amounts of money in terms of a bounty, or rob a train that only has like at max $150 and some change from the passengers, but then you rack up a $500 bounty from killing all the law enforcement and stuff like that. So this is a very cool mod to have. No high fall damage, in case you're wandering around some of the locations that have secret items. You can go ahead and enable this, and this helps especially like when you fall off a cliff that you think you can survive, but you eventually end up, you know, falling off and you haven't saved in a while and you lose your pelts and stuff like that. So this helps out. No invisible snipers. This is good for again, like the lockdown. Once you enter an area past the law enforcement that are hunting you down, eventually, like in Guarma, you're going to get hunted by a sniper that'll just kill you. This removes that effect there. And allows you to explore these territories. Again, no sliding. This is for those ankle high hills that sometimes you jump to a ledge and then all of a sudden you're in a sliding motion and you slide off and die. Same thing, it just allows you to, you know, have a better foothold. And then we have remove speed limits, which basically lets you run around in camp and nobody's getting pissed off at you for doing so, as well as blasting through a town high speed on your horse. And we have all our Script Hook. Script Hook is going to go ahead and create its own proprietary files in order to tell the game, all right, this is what's going on, this is what's being installed. Of course, Stagecoaches we talked about. And then there's Trelawny's Way Travel, which allows you to go ahead and visit Guarma from a NPC in St. Denis at any time. So that's something that you can go ahead and take a look at. So those are just some of the mods that I go ahead and use inside of my game that allow for a much more enriching experience. And I really do hope that you check out the Patreon, because that file is there for you guys to go ahead and get a fresh Chapter 2 start with all your new mods and explore the game itself. I did have a mod for the hunting wagon, but I felt that it was kind of odd, because what it does is it basically will spawn like the Batmobile out of nowhere, and it'll be right there next to your character. Even if you're in like high country, it'll try to be on the nearest road. And I think that was kind of like immersion breaking, so I just uninstalled that. But, you know, this is your game. You paid for it. You can mod it and play the way that you want to play. I hope that this helped you out.